Most people think the richest 10% simply earn more money. Higher salaries, better jobs, maybe a lucky investment. Sounds logical. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Two people can earn the exact same income, and after 20 years, one quietly builds millions, while the other stays financially stuck. Same income, different outcome. So what actually separates them? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's behavior. Small financial behaviors that look ordinary on the surface, but quietly shape how wealth compounds over decades. And the strange part? Many of these behaviors feel wrong at first. They go against what most people believe is responsible, which is exactly why so few people ever reach the top 10%. So in this video, we're breaking down the 10 financial behaviors that quietly separate the richest 10% from everyone else, starting with the ones that seem small, and ending with the one behavior that changes how wealth grows entirely. And by the end, you'll probably ask yourself one uncomfortable question. Am I actually building wealth? Or just maintaining a normal financial life? Let's start with the first behavior. Behavior 10. They ignore small status signals. At first glance, the richest people don't look very different. Same cities, same stores, same restaurants. But there's one small difference in behavior. They don't chase micro-status upgrades. The slightly nicer car, the slightly bigger apartment, the slightly more expensive vacation. Most people treat income increases like permission to upgrade life immediately. Promotion. Upgrade the car. Raise. Move to a better neighborhood. Bonus. Book the luxury trip. Sounds normal. But here's the hidden problem. Small lifestyle upgrades create permanent financial pressure. Insurance rises. Maintenance rises. Monthly expectations rise. And suddenly your financial system isn't flexible anymore. It's locked. The richest 10% behave differently. They delay lifestyle upgrades longer than expected. Not forever, just long enough for assets to grow first, which means the upgrade happens after wealth compounds, not before. Small difference, massive outcome. And this leads directly to the next behavior. Behavior number 9. They protect cash flow more than income. Most people obsess over one number. Salary. How much do you make? But wealthy individuals focus on something different. Cash flow stability. Because income can disappear quickly. Industries change. Companies restructure. Markets shift. Income is temporary. Cash flow systems are durable. This is why the richest 10% start building multiple streams of income early. Dividends, investments, equity, ownership. Not because they need more money right away, but because they're reducing future dependence on a single paycheck. Average thinking says, earn more. Elite thinking says, reduce dependence. Two completely different financial philosophies. And once you start thinking this way, the next behavior becomes obvious. Behavior number 8. They buy time before they buy luxury. Luxury feels like success. Nice watch. Luxury apartment. Premium car. But the richest 10% buy something else first. Time flexibility, time freedom, time optionality. Instead of upgrading lifestyle immediately, they invest in systems that buy future time. Investments, assets, ownership stakes. Because luxury purchase too early has a hidden cost. It locks you into maintaining the income required to support it, which quietly removes your freedom. But when assets generate income first, luxury becomes optional, not required. That's a very different life. And this behavior leads into something deeper, because the richest 10% understand something most people completely miss. Behavior number 7. They think in decades, not years. Most people plan financially in short cycles. Next year, next raise, next bonus, maybe the next 5 years. But wealthy individuals think differently. They think in decades, not because they're patient, because they understand compounding. Compounding rewards time more than effort. A $10,000 investment earning 8% annually becomes $21,000 in 10 years. But in 30 years, almost $100,000. Same investment. The difference is time. This changes behavior dramatically. Because once you understand decades, short-term decisions start looking very different. Selling investments early feels expensive. Lifestyle inflation feels dangerous. Impulse spending feels temporary. And that long-term mindset unlocks the next behavior. Behavior number 6. They avoid financial noise. Modern finance is loud. Market predictions, investment trends, hot stocks. Every day there's a new opportunity that promises quick gains. Most people react emotionally. Buy when something is trending. Sell when fear appears. Jump between strategies constantly. But the richest 10% operate differently. They avoid financial noise almost entirely. Because noise creates reaction. And reaction destroys long-term investing. Instead, they focus on a few simple principles. Ownership, consistency, compounding. Then they stay with those principles for decades. not months. And this quiet consistency creates something powerful. Momentum. Which brings us to a behavior that most people misunderstand completely. Up to this point, this might sound like normal financial advice. Spend less. Invest more. Think long-term. But that's not what this video is actually about. It's about identity. Because the richest 10% don't just make better financial decisions. They see money differently. Most people see money as something you earn and spend. The wealthy see money as something you deploy. A tool, a system, a force that grows quietly in the background. Which means the real question isn't, how much do you make? It's something deeper. How does your money behave when you're not working? And that shift leads directly into the next behavior. Behavior 5. They measure net worth, not lifestyle. Most people track success through lifestyle signals. Better apartment, better car, better vacations, visible upgrades. But the richest 10% track something invisible. Net worth, assets minus liabilities. Because lifestyle can look impressive while wealth quietly disappears. Expensive homes, car payments, luxury subscriptions, all of it looks successful from the outside. But underneath, many high earners are financially fragile. The wealthy measure something different. Ownership, equity, investments, assets growing faster than spending, which means their financial progress is mostly invisible. And that invisibility is intentional, because the next behavior depends on it. Behavior number 4. They avoid lifestyle traps. One of the biggest financial traps is invisible. It's called lifestyle lock-in. When your lifestyle becomes so expensive that your income must continue forever. Mortgage, private schools, luxury payments, monthly commitments stacking higher and higher. Eventually the structure becomes too large to escape. You can't slow down. You can't change careers. You can't take risks. Even high earners fall into this trap. From the outside they look wealthy, but internally they're financially trapped. The richest 10% avoid this by keeping their fixed costs lower than their earning potential, which gives them flexibility. And flexibility creates something extremely valuable: control. But this next behavior reveals an even deeper difference. Behavior 3. They buy ownership instead of consumption. Most financial decisions fall into two categories: consumption or ownership. Consumption disappears. New phone, luxury clothes, expensive upgrades. Ownership grows. Stocks, businesses, equity, assets. Most people spend the majority of their money on consumption, which means the money leaves permanently. But the richest 10% slowly convert income into ownership. Over time, those ownership stakes begin producing income themselves. Dividends, appreciation, business profits. At that point, something powerful happens. Your wealth starts growing without your direct effort. And when that happens, financial life starts changing dramatically. Because the next behavior unlocks the real engine of wealth. Behavior number 2, they prioritize assets over income. This is where most people misunderstand wealth. They assume rich people are rich because they earn a lot. But many wealthy individuals focus less on income and more on assets. Assets create income automatically. Businesses, equity, investments. Income is temporary, assets are persistent. This is why some people with moderate salaries quietly become extremely wealthy over time. They prioritize buying assets consistently, not occasionally, consistently, month after month, year after year. And eventually those assets start producing something powerful: financial independence. Which leads to the final behavior, the one that truly separates the richest 10%. Behavior number 1, they design life around freedom, not income. Most people build their lives around earning money, career, raises, promotions. The goal is simple: earn more. But the richest 10% design their financial lives around something different. Freedom. Freedom to stop working. Freedom to change direction. Freedom to choose how time is spent. This changes every financial decision. Investments are prioritized earlier. Lifestyle inflation is delayed longer. Ownership is accumulated more aggressively. Because the ultimate goal isn't income, it's independence. The ability for life to continue financially, even when work stops. And when you design life around freedom, wealth stops being a number. It becomes control over your time. Here's the strange part. None of these behaviors are dramatic. They don't look impressive. They don't feel exciting. But over 20 or 30 years, they quietly separate the richest 10% from everyone else. Not through luck, not through genius, through behavior. Small decisions repeated for decades. But there's another financial pattern that's even more dangerous. Because some money moves look incredibly smart. They feel responsible. They feel disciplined. They even get praised by other people. But over time, they quietly destroy millions in potential wealth. And that's exactly what we're breaking down in the next video. Top 10 money moves that make you look smart, but cost millions. Because the biggest financial mistakes rarely look like mistakes. And once you see them, you can't unsee them.